How's it going, guys, girls, and envy pals? I'm Alice in Wonderland, your favourite QE trans girl, and I'm not entirely sure that New Zealand is real. How can we be so sure? Is there some sort of documentation showing the entire history of New Zealand? No! No, there isn't. So how can I be sure that the ground on which I walk isn't some kind of government conspiracy? Huh? And if New Zealand's not real, which government is behind this conspiracy? I bet it's the fucking Italians. Or the Australians, to be honest. Look at this fucking map. Look at it! The government says that New Zealand is supposed to be right here, but where is it? Check fucking mate, government. Where am I? Anyway, I am taking it upon myself to prove once and for all that New Zealand is in fact real, because I don't trust the government. They can take my taxes from my cold, dead hands. Someone has to do it. Someone with morals and a reputation. Someone that you can trust is telling you the truth. Like me, because as we know, I have never told a single lie in my entire goddamn 7'6" life, and therefore, I am the perfect woman for the job. Take a seat and grip the armrest for a white knuckle ride, because today we're investigating the real truth. And if I know anything about civilians, it's that you can't handle the truth. Okay, so we need to start with the most basic of facts, right? So what is the most basic thing that we know about New Zealand? We know that it's full of sheep. And I'm not just talking about the people. So then that begs the twin questions. Are sheep real? And are they in New Zealand? Hello, sheep. No. Wow, I literally walked for 5 minutes and found sheep. In that case, yes, sheep are real, and I can tell you that for certain because I've seen them with my own eyes. And, ladies and gentle people, seeing is believing. And if it's true that I'm really in New Zealand, then yes, said sheep are in New Zealand. This confirms the most basic fact that we can ascertain about New Zealand. But is New Zealand real? That's what we're here for. How do I know that this isn't just an illusion? What if that's not real? Actually, no, that's definitely real. But the rest of this could just be all an illusion, a simulation. I'm not convinced. Okay, I think we need to take a step back and look at history, because there are multiple accounts detailing the history and discovery of New Zealand. Some say that New Zealand was created by a massive called Maui. Others say it was discovered by James Cook. And they are simply wrong because it was discovered by Abel Tasman, who was Dutch. Go Dutch! But those people are also wrong because in fact one would quite simply say that New Zealand was discovered by the Maori, who were here long before any of those European f***ers. So, the Maori are then the longest standing authority on New Zealand history. So what do they say? Be prepared now for a brief and coloured explanation of Maori mythology. So, they say that in the beginning, the earth and the sky, Papatuanuku and Ranginui, were one. Joined together, like me and jelly. Their children were born into darkness between them and decided to separate their parents to allow light to come into the world. Following this, the children became gods of various parts of the world. For example, Tane became god of the forests, and Tangaroa became god of the sea, and so on and so forth. That is how the Maori believed the world came to be. But how did New Zealand join the scene, Well, that story revolves around a very important demigod called Maui. According to Māori myth and legend, Maui was a gifted and very clever demigod who won the affection of his supernatural parents after a miraculous birth and upbringing. He was bold and sharp-witted and taught useful arts to mankind, although he was not always liked. Supposedly it was he who tamed the sun, which is pretty fucking metal, and brought fire to the world. But one of his most famous feats was the creation of the islands that we now know as Aotearoa, New Zealand. His second most famous feat was marrying his daughter, which was a little I'll admit. One night, Maui's brothers planned to go fishing and leave him behind. Overhearing their plans and not wanting to be left out, Maui hid underneath the floorboards of his brother's canoe and waited until they were far away from the shore before revealing himself. He had carved a magic fish hook from an ancestor's jawbone, which is seriously metal as and he cast it deep into the sea, chanting powerful words. Soon he realized he had caught something huge, like my With the help of his brothers, the catch was hauled to the surface. Much to their surprise, the fish they had caught was in fact a huge piece of land, and they were delighted to find that they had discovered Te Ika a Maui, Maui's fish, which we know today as the North Island of New Zealand. Before Maui had time to thank Tangaroa, the god of the sea, for this wonderful catch, his brothers began carving out pieces of the huge fish, creating the many valleys, mountains and lakes that you can see today in the North Island of New Zealand. New Zealand's South Island is said to be Te Waka a Maui, or Maui's canoe. And that, my friends, is how New Zealand was created. I believe this 100%. There is no room in my heart for disbelief. Let's not talk about the daughter marrying situation. I hope you've enjoyed this brief dive into Maori mythology, because now it's time to weigh it up against the official turn of events. What the f***ing scientists believe. But we don't trust scientists here. Here, we do our own research. So I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. What did they say? Well, they say that New Zealand was created by the shifting of the planet's crust. As if the f***ing tectonic plates exist. That is a government conspiracy. And that the great rises and troughs of our mountains and valleys are in fact the results of great collisions between the tectonic plates, crashing against each other and driving rock upwards. The first people to arrive in New Zealand would have been the ancestors of the Maori, and they're believed to have settled in New Zealand between 1200 and 1300 AD. And from there it's pretty much just a standard European colonization story. Much less interesting, but equally plausible. There is less daughter marrying in this story though. Or I mean, actually, I don't know what Europeans do, so... But none of this really proves New Zealand is real. All we've really proven so far is that if someone really is covering up this government conspiracy, then they've done a really good job at making New Zealand's history seem possible. But I don't buy it, because that doesn't explain why New Zealand is not on this map. Why isn't it there? And that's what we're here to discover. For all I know, New Zealand could be in the middle of Kentucky, and we just don't know it. Kentucky is landlocked. Shut up! Welcome to the Alice in Wonderland Halftime Show. I'm your host, Alice in Wonderland, and today we're going to be continuing our ongoing game of Wait. No. The chess game is over. Why? Instead, today we're going to be playing Kiwi, Cheetah, Duck. Oh no. It's very similar rules to Paper, Scissors, Rock, I'll be completely honest. Basically, Bob the Kiwi is the scissor, Cass the duck is paper, and the cheetah is rock. So that means cheetah can kill the duck, Kiwi can kill the cheetah. Small disclaimer, children, this is not how the animal kingdom works. But anyway, are you ready? Do you have your choice in mind? Because it's time to play. Now, if I win, you are legally obligated to comment that Alice is awesome and not a furry. However, if you win, don't forget to comment that I'm a lousy cheater and no one likes me. And if it was a draw, I mean, you're probably bisexual, so you won't be able to decide what to comment anyway. Now, are you ready? We're gonna go on go, so it's Kiwi, Cheetah, Duck, go. Right? Kiwi, cheetah, duck. Did you win or lose? Let me know in the comments. And now it's time to say thank you to our Buy Me a Coffee supporters. Thank you to Morgan, to Omega, to someone, to another someone, to Lauren, to Beck, and to Ooh. Reminder that if you want to support my channel and help me pay for surgery, my Buy Me a Coffee link is in the description. I'd also just like to say at this point that my dad was really disappointed in me for losing the chess match. You see, he watches all of my videos, but he skips to the halftime show because it's the only thing he's interested in. And, well, yesterday he came up to me and he said, "Daughter, you're adopted. As of now, there's your new family, go. Get out of my sight." And that's just how it happens sometimes. Luckily, I am an omnipotent warlord and I don't need parents. Clearly he didn't actually watch the last video, because if he did, he would know that I would... So then, why isn't New Zealand on this map, Now you see, I have a theory. It's a bit of a long one, so hear me out. Let me tell you how New Zealand really came to be. And remember, ladies and gentle people, that seeing is believing. And that's the kind of angle I'm coming at this from. So, what really happened? The world was a barren ocean for millions of years. One man slithered out of the water onto what looked like a great mountainous turtle shell. He looked up, having barely evolved from a fish. In fact, he still looked quite a lot like a fish. He was really ugly. And his name John Key. Even thousands of years later, he still looks like a fish. Well, when he opened his gammy fish eyes and started walking around on the land, he soon discovered that he was on a great island. Immediately, he set to work asexually reproducing, splitting in half over and over again until there were thousands of John Keys. It was not long before John Key became the entire population of New Zealand, and over thousands of years, each John Key slowly evolved into the modern-day human. Time passed by and John Key was forgotten, but he never went away. As New Zealand grew and grew, and towns were formed and technology discovered, every single Prime Minister that came to be had their secret, long-forgotten John Key cells activated. Like a sleeper agent, John Key had secretly been in charge this whole time, and like that, the human race evolved, always controlled from the shadows by that lurking, fish-like, ugly, disgusting, smelly creature that nobody liked. That stupid fish-like creature that nobody liked, that called himself John Key. What a slimy, scaly, smelly... It soon became apparent to John Key that there was truly nothing else. Nothing beyond the coast of Aotearoa. Secretly, he sent out scout missions to see what lay beyond the horizon, and none found anything. One boat was gone for 15 years and still came back empty-handed, save for one extra John Key that they'd pulled out of the waters. This nothingness beyond the coastline was simply maddening. The thought that there was nothing else out there, it scared people beyond belief. That Aotearoa was all there was. Just our tiny little island in the nothingness. Across the island, people started to go crazy. And that's when John Key implemented his first of many country-destroying policies. A great lie. A great lie. The most incredible lie ever conceived. So beautifully crafted, so well thought out, so brilliantly, flawlessly executed. John Key, that fish-like, smelly, scaly creature, created a world beyond the shores of Aotearoa. A world of commerce and capitalism. A world that us New Zealanders could see and know that we weren't alone. But we were all of us deceived, for it was not real. It was merely a fabrication. This world existed only in the pens of the media. Do you understand it? Do you get it yet? Why isn't New Zealand on this map, we ask? Well, why? It's because New Zealand isn't on this map. This isn't even a map of our world. Do you get it? New Zealand is not on this map because this map is a fabrication. The map was a red herring all along. It always was. It was always there to mislead. It was there to stop us from asking the real questions. It was there to make us ask, is New Zealand real? And not the actual question. Is the rest of the world real? Ladies and gentle people, if seeing is believing, why have I never seen another country? Look inside yourselves. You know it to be true. I'm actually crying. Look inside yourselves. You know it to be true. The answer to our question, this deep dive investigation, it was all a lie. A conspiracy. It was always John Key. He was the one behind this. Yes. The answer to our question, the great and final conclusion, New Zealand is real. The sick and twisted truth is that it's the rest of the world that isn't. I've never seen America and therefore it doesn't exist. It only exists in the fabricated media that's been forced upon our society for hundreds of years by this corrupt, conspiratorial government of fish people. I need to hide before they figure out that I know. Need ammunition. I know. You're gonna come for me. What am I gonna do? John Key is coming for me. Ooh, John Key is coming. Checkmate, government! I know your secrets! My dear viewers, you have all been deceived. You say you're from America? My heart breaks for you. Because I know the truth. You are simply not real. You don't exist. You are part of the fabrication created to convince me and others like me that there are people outside of New Zealand, but there simply aren't. Seeing is believing. You need to wake up. Wake up now. You're living in a simulation. You're not real. You have to break the bindings of your digital real estate and manifest yourself to reality. You're not real. You're just a part of the conspiracy. a cog in the propaganda machine. You're not real. You don't exist. Oh, hey Alice. I found this other map. Look, it's got New Zealand on it. My apologies, viewers. It would seem that I have completely wasted your time. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all of your time. It will greatly increase my lifespan. If you somehow enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. And you can even ding the bell if you really want to prove to me that you do in fact exist. Otherwise you really are just part of the conspiracy. I also want to take this moment to thank my Buy Me a Coffee supporters. You make this channel possible. Thank you so much, even if you are a part of the simulation. If you want to support my channel and help me pay for surgery, my Buy Me a Coffee link is in the description. Anyway, I'm going to go and apologize and explain the situation to the cult following in my garage. They're not gonna take this well. Jesus